Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are taking another look at the Stihl 031 AV. It's a 1970 chainsaw. It's like 48cc or so. It's my buddy's saw. Thing was sitting under a carport. You guys can see it's a little rusted, a little beat. I mean, it's old, right? It's like well older. I was born in 84. This thing's from the 70s, so it's got some age. The last video, I put up a video short. We got it fired up. I also put up a video before this. We got it to run. Now, the gas line is busted. The only way to get it to run, we put a little bit of gas on that cylinder. Boom, fired up. So today we're going to be pulling the carburetor off and replacing that gas line. I'm kind of going to bring you guys in close, and we'll kind of do that job together. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe. Make sure you leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this video. And don't go anywhere because we're going to get started right now. All right, guys, bringing you in close. Now, running this saw, I'm going to be running a 32-to-1 mix. It's an older saw. I want to make sure everything has plenty of oil when it's running. Now, the 32-to-1 oil gas mixture is what I run in my bigger saws, like if I'm going to be doing slabbing and things like that. So that is what I'm planning to run in this saw, at least for right now. I want to make sure everything's got oil, you know what I mean, and that gas mix running through. So anyway, we're here to get going on the carb. First thing we got to do is remove this filter. And I'm not sure of how much this is actually going to be a tutorial rather than me just working, you guys. But I'll walk you through as much as I can in case, you know, you got one of these and you have some issues. You want a big screwdriver for this. The screwdriver I'm using really isn't big enough, but it's a big flathead. Now, the gas line's got a big break in it. The good news is it looks like we can get to it pretty easy. This filter I cleaned off in the last video. We'll be reusing that. All right, there's your carb. And that gas line's actually right here and runs up in this crack, which is hard to see, but right there it has to take a really sharp bend, which is like a 90-degree bend. It's kind of silly to me that they do that, but you know, is what it is. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. So can't really show you guys, but I'm gonna get in here and see if I can just work this off. Now, the piece the gasket goes on is plastic, so you want to make sure you don't break that. But look, right, we got the gas line popped off. There's part of it right there in my hand. The other part's on that carburetor, but that thing is, it's done skis. I gotta get a socket wrench and take off these two nuts. So 8mm deep well socket. We don't need the extension, it's not gonna fit. So all right, let's get in here,
pop these bad boys off. Cheap socket wrench. Cheap socket wrench. Come on. A little loosened up. Do it by hand. A little bit faster. Monkeying with the monkey wrench. I know it's not a monkey wrench. Calm down. Oh, I wish they could have made these longer. My word, that takes forever. Papa. We'll have a good day if we don't lose any little parts. That's, yeah. Good times. Turn that off. I don't know how much cleaning up we're going to actually do on this. We're going to pull this cover off at some point, get in there, mess around with that. Okay,
let's see what's going on in here. So we got a snap ring holding on the linkage to the throttle. Okay, this should be fun because this is where you lose stuff and you get frustrated and you start saying words you shouldn't say. But let's see if we can do it. Boom. All right, snap ring off, no issues. Thank you, Lord. Let's pop that bad boy off. Hopefully it doesn't come apart up in there. All right, that's out of the way. Can you guys see? You guys know what's going on? I don't. All right, let's see if we can just take this carburetor and pop it out ever so gently. Oh, good job. All right, so there's our carb. Just got some filth going on. Just a little dirty. It's only on the outside though, right? The inside's okay. There's some rust in there. I'm actually going to take this over, guys, and hit it quick with the air outside, blast this dust off, come back, it'll be cleaned up, and then we'll start kind of popping these off and cleaning the inside. Blasted that off, so just the outside's kind of clean. So as I take it apart, more dust doesn't fall into the carb. I know some people have given me crap in the past, like, geez, why do you even dust the outside of that thing off? Well, I don't know, my brain says if I don't, I'm gonna get more dust in there. Here's our broken, busted up gas line. Let's get this off and out of our way. Now, between this piece and the piece we already took off, right, but boom, I am going to measure and cut my new piece. Now, I don't have any of this gas line. I have this cheap gas line from another job I had done. So yeah, we're gonna have to just use this. It's the way it is. All right, guys. I know, real OEM parts. Blah blah blah. It'll be just fine, okay? Because honestly, I'm gonna fix this. And my buddy's probably just gonna stick it out in the rain anyway, and it's gonna be wrecked in 3 months. That's probably what's gonna happen. And you better not, dude. You leave this thing out in the rain again. Carport doesn't cut it. Put it in the shed. Yeah. So, all right. Mini flathead. I think this is where the diaphragm is. I believe it's called. Trying to get better with my terms here, guys. Okay. I am not a mechanic. All right. I'm just a guy who likes to work on my own stuff, work on my buddy's stuff. I didn't go to school for this crap. I didn't understudy somebody. I'm just like, you know, doing things. So, are guys that do this for a living going to look at this and be like, oh my gosh, you did that wrong, you did this wrong, that's not what that's called, blah, blah, blah? Absolutely. They do it all the time. And you know what? For the most part, it's okay. Like, I am okay with constructive criticism. Like, hey, dude, that's called this. Hey, dude, that's called that. Hey, you shouldn't do this. Oh, okay, cool, thanks. You know, it helps me with doing these things in the future and sharing with you guys. So, but if you're on here just being a clown, save it. I don't feel like hearing that crap. If you're on here giving good advice, because you know what you're talking about, by all means, share away. All right, so I'm just being careful here, because this whole thing right here is probably a really bad idea. I've had these gaskets rip on other saws, newer saws. In this case, it's the diaphragm. Boom, looks all right. I'm actually going to pull this off and look on the back side, which is full of sawdust. So we'll clean that off at some point. And then we're right into here, which you can actually see somebody has already monkeyed with this carb. You can see here where they took their screwdriver, which was smaller than this one that I've got, and they've jacked up that piece there. So props to you for using too small of a screwdriver, more than likely, or really over tightening that because you didn't have to. I'm actually going to pull this other side right out as well. And the key thing is remembering what way stuff goes on. Like, I already forgot, so that's cool. It'll be okay, though. Take her easy now. Nice and easy. Easy, kid. Oh, we got that off there. Well, our screen in there is kicked up a little bit sideways, so that's not filtering a whole lot. Whatever the heck that normally filters, I don't stick and remember, you guys. I don't know. Let's see here. We got some junk in this. Just gonna fish out these pieces without pulling on this too much because it's already in some sketchy shape here. A little bit of junk. Nothing too crazy. Okay, set that aside. So there's a little screen right here, and it is not in proper place. Like, it's in there all sideways and such. It's actually clean, so whoever did this last time already cleaned that bad boy out, which is a plus. Thank you. Let's see here if we can kind of... Alright, got our screen back in. That looks good. It's always like nerve-wracking farting around with this stuff. Mostly these gaskets, because these are kind of brittle. Alright, we're going to take this little brass brush. I don't use steel, I use brass or plastic. Just going to clean that off a little bit. Now, everyone says don't use carb cleaner. I always do. I just do. I don't know what to tell you. So, off screen, just blasted the gunk off that with a carb cleaner. The big, hey, don't do that thing. I just did that thing. Whatever. Get over it. Okay. Bye-bye. That's ready to go. These go here. That's going to go there. This was clean inside. There's nothing in it. Ooh, ready? Time to lose parts. We're going to pull this screw out right here. And hopefully we don't lose things. Otherwise, I'm going to get mad. Oh my gosh. Whoever put this together. It's probably the Incredible Hulk or He-Man, because that was in there way too tight. Like snug to tight is what you need, not tight to tight, if that makes sense to anybody other than myself. Oh, come on, little spring. All right, so that spring stays in place on this. That's a beautiful thing. We didn't lose it. Here's all our little doohickeys and doodads that got to go in there. See if that little spring does come out, because they make me nervous. I lose these things, and that's it. We're done. All right, so we got our spring out. And I've actually got a little thing over here to do a little bit of the carburetor cleaning stuff. So we got that cleaned up. Now, as far as it goes with the carb cleaner, you know, if you still live at home and your dad bought that stuff, just use the crap out of it. Unless you're one of my kids, and you better take it easy, because it's expensive. But yeah, you know, I'm sure you guys get the gist. Let's just pop this baby back on. How do we know what way this has to go? One, we either remember, or you see this little bowl here, a little circle there. Papa goes back together. Let's put this piece on. Oh wait, we can't. We got to put it back together, don't we? Okay. Let's be super duper careful here. The spring is springy, so when you pick it up, try not to compress it if you're doing this job. Right? See that? The thing already went flying. Oh, I hate these things. Oh my gosh, went in the wrong spot. Got to put this right back where it was. Just a good time. Alrighty. Alright, calm down, little spring. Now there's a bubble on this. The little bubble goes in the top of the springy thing. And then you got to put your little pointy thing back into these little fork thingy things. And then pop it all in together like that with your thumb. 9 times out of 10. Well, not even 9 times out. You get a 50-50. That spring might go flying and it might not, you know? Just act like you know what you're doing and it'll work out. You'll be just fine. Tighten your little screw down. Snug. Call it a day. Any more than snug is not necessary. Now, there's a problem here, okay? The spring is not going to do what it needs to do. The spring has fallen over while assembling. So I'm going to put my thumb back over it. I'm going to loosen this screw up. But not all, like, not take it out all the way. I'm going to just loosen it up some. And probably play a dangerous trick here. And let that spring up. And see if we can't get it to line up here with the bubble. Which it's not doing. Alright, now it's lined up. So it does take some monkeying around with, guys, and you need a little screwdriver like this. You can get in there and move those things, but tight is tight, don't kill it. Alright, you want to make sure your spring is in place underneath. Springy. I'll pop this thingamabob back over it. This bigger nail, we're gonna get a little oil on that and see if it's possible to kind of stretch out this hose a little bit with this nail. This carb's gonna have to go back on this way, so let's go ahead and pop it in place here for a hot minute. So you can get up here and see about where we gotta cut this hose. Now the bummer is I left this on. I was thinking I needed to leave it on to not have to, you know, create more work for myself. But I don't know, I might have to take this whole thing off, and I really just don't want to, you know. There we go. Got our whole top handle off. Ta-da! Should have just done that at the beginning. Oh well, what are you gonna do, you know? Coil still looks alright, which is good. But here is where we got to get in here and put that hose right here. Hopefully you guys can see. That's a pain in the butt. Not as bad as new saws though. I've only got like 2 rubber grommets. This thing probably shake, rattles, and rolls when you're using it for real. Let's see here. That's where you got to get in though to remove the exhaust too. That's kind of crazy. So this fella has to come up to that fella. All right, so we got a little bit more than we need. I don't know where my knife went, so. Nothing like a good old chisel. So we're gonna slap a little bit more oil on our big nail here. We're gonna pop that in the end of this hose, like we did last time. And just see if that'll help stretch things out a little bit for us again. Let's try this. Let's see if we can use this, but not too tight. I don't want to rip the hose, but we want to grip the hose. Don't rip it, grip it. Oh, this cheap gas line's gonna end up just tearing, I think. Now we're working it on slow. All right, we're on. Carb's on. Let's put our handle on. Woo-hoo. Let's put some gas in there, and let's do some other stuff, right?
We'll flip this bad boy over again. I put it back in in case there was oil in it, but we gotta keep the bar oil cap off and work this sucker kind of back into place. But it's all gotta go in at like the same time, I think. So start here with the back. Get that down. Wow, this is a pain right in the keister. I didn't think it was gonna be super easy putting this handle back down. Definitely need to make sure your bar oil spot is empty. Because like right now the cap's off, so if there was actually a bunch of oil in there, it'd be all over my bench. I'd be irritated. So there's some finagling. Get that around. Make sure you're not messing up the end of that coil, and that you can still reach it. Put it back on the spark plug when you have to. That'll be the other bit there too. So that's in place. So the whole thing's got to slide back. Ooh, grommets are falling out here. Okay. I'll try to get the spark plug cap out of here through coil, or whatever the heck it's called. Pretty sure it's coil. Kind of wedged in there just ever so slightly. Lift this up a touch, push that down a touch. Fingers crossed there, probably don't rip any wires, because that's not cool. We do. Okay, so that's out of there. Just enough, I hope. Pop that down. Pull this out. Okay. Finagling, guys, you gotta finagle. Finagling. We'll put that back bolt through the grommet here in the rear. It's kind of like a carriage bolt, so it has a place to seat right in, which is nice. And we're gonna snug this baby up. It looks like everything is lined up the way it should be. That's fine. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of different little nuts and bolts to reassemble here, right? Three of them here above the carb sets. You got 3 of these guys. 2 are longer than the other. So the 2 long ones are on the outside. That shorter one goes on the inside, which is up underneath. The first one I didn't realize was in the way. Gotta move some things around here and finagle it. an angle. So this, there is a rubber grommet. That one's going to be a pain, so you got to push it back through the rubber grommet to get it in place. Finger tight, finger tight. Oh, and I did twist it. Lost some bar oil. Right now, though, we're going to take the two that are over here for the handle, and I'm going to tighten those up, and we'll worry about that other one last. Well, this workbench cardboard piece that I've been using forever is finally going to be garbage. There's bar oil all over it. There's just a little bit in there. Just enough, and I forgot to put the cap on once I got the handle over here. Scuba stave, darling. Get excited, right, to put gas in this and fire it up. Gotta slow down. Get all these other pieces together here first. Next video, we're going to sharpen the chain on this and actually make some cuts. Hopefully we start with, that is the plan in this video, to fire this guy up, put a little gas in that tank, and fire it up, you know? So there's that. Look at that oil mess. Good gravy. That's what I didn't want, but what are you going to do? That's what it is, right? A little too much gas on it, it's sticking way out, but it'll survive. Okay, so this guy's here. Maybe it will just pop right in. Oh, perfect. Twist this one in. We still gotta tighten up those other three that were only finger tight. So that's in. Oil cap's back in. What got me is I tilted it like this to finger tight these ones a little. Plus, you know, all the other tilting angles I did while that cap was off. That doesn't help. Tight. It's quite a bit of work to get in here and mess around with these saws compared to the new ones. Tight. Okay, so that stuff's boom. Good to go. Carb's already on. So we need to get that throttle linkage on. So pop that over.
Grab our little clip here. Put your throttle linkage back on. Take your little clip. I know it's not really a very good tutorial if you're using it for that, but I'm talking as if it is, right? I'm so used to doing chainsaw carving tutorials and stuff. All right, so our linkage clip. Cool beans. All right, guys, we're outside. We got this on. Choke's on. The throttle button thing is on. Let's see. Let's see if we can do that again. Really don't care that this has no chain brake. Like, I don't care for that whole lot. So you turn that choke off, maybe. Turn that choke all the way off. Turn our choke on. It looks like that carb's gonna need some adjusting. Come on. Guess we'll go back in and fix it. Alright guys, so I got it back out. I took the bar and chain off here so I could get looking at it. The recoil, I think we got to replace it, but it gives me just enough tug to get it to pop over. Well, we're definitely going to have to get a new coil, guys. We'll have to come back to it, but she's a runner. A little bit of a runner. See if we can get some plate replacement parts, though. I will see if he wants to do any more work on it, but I'll keep you guys posted on the 031 Stihl AV project saw. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, keep an eye out for those future videos. Thanks.